I think we're good.
It's good.
All right, shalom. 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 All right, you brothers here from the Great Millstone Atlanta camp. Back in the spirit with our, Passover lesson 2020, the year of prophecy. Of course, before we get started, I want to give all praise and glory and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
All right, also we want to say double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace, salutations, many blessings to the elect of Israel, scattered around the four corners of the earth that's given our diligence to make their call and election sure. All right, as you know, every year we come together to celebrate the Passover, which is a very solemn assembly. It's a very solemn and serious high holy day. It's actually the highest holy day of the year. It's the first high holy day of the new year as well. Okay, so it goes all the way back to our deliverance from Egypt. Okay, around this time, this is when the Lord's name was magnified, not only amongst the Israelites, but also amongst the heathens. Okay, this is when the Lord's name, was known as Yahweh. Okay, around this time, that name was given to Moses, and Moses, brought that name back, and through that name, there were great wonders and miracles and signs that happened. And also, one of the greatest things that ever happened in history was the deliverance through the Red Sea. Okay, so this is a very special time of year for the Israelites. And really all Israelites should come together tonight, or whenever they get together for the Passover, because at the end of the day, you're gonna have certain guys that's gonna keep the Passover this day and that day. But at the end of the day, it's all left up to the Spirit. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's start out with Judges chapter 5 and verse 11. The sound is down.
I hear it, but they said they can't hear it online. But I can hear it, so.
Okay.
You can hear it?
It's probably their computer.
It's probably, or it might, I think it'd be the phone mic. Turn it up. Yeah. Yeah. So somebody start out with Judges chapter 5 and verse 11.
Judges.
Brothers, make sure y'all read it on the camera.
This is Judges chapter 5, verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the place where the drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts.
Absolutely, and that's why we're rehearsing these righteous acts here in America. Even though this is not our homeland, this is not our so-called country, we still rehearse these righteous acts because at the end of the day, the whole earth was made for our sakes. So we're supposed to keep this, whether we in China or whether we in Southwest Atlanta.
Okay.
It don't matter. We're supposed to rehearse these righteous acts and come with a pure heart before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in worship in truth and sincerity. Okay, so let's go ahead and start it out in Exodus the 12th chapter. You can read, start from the top.
This is Exodus 12, or the brothers there. This is Exodus 12 and 1. And it says, And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months, and it shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of the month they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house.
Absolutely. And at this particular time, Yahushua, obviously he wasn't on the scene yet, but this was a foreshadowing of Yahushua coming in the future. Okay? So that lamb really represents Yahushua. That's why you would take a lamb on that 10th day, and it would have to be a lamb without spot or blemish. That goes into Yahushua, because he was without spot or blemish because he didn't sin. He was upright in the spirit. Okay? So that's the meaning behind getting that lamb. Now, back then, of course, the lamb was a clean animal. So you still could use the lamb back then because it was clean. But really, it goes deeper than that because really that lamb represents Yahushua that was later later on going to be the sacrificial lamb for us to be able to keep the Passover again. Okay, because if Yahushua didn't come on the scene, we wouldn't be able to do this right now. You know, if he didn't come and be that lamb and put his life on the line and you know, fully dedicate himself, you know, to the will of the Lord, we wouldn't be able to do this. Okay? So spiritually, Yahushua is that lamb and that blood that we put over the doorpost. Okay? Keep reading, bro.
This is Exodus 12 and 4. And it says, and if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbors next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. He shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats.
See that? It says, and that's spiritual as well, a male. You know, so the Lord, you can't even get a female goat. It has to be a male without blemish. It's Yahushua. You know? So, you know, you got these feminist women nowadays, they'll get offended at that. Well, I gotta be a male. Right. You know? That's how these witches are nowadays. Okay? Keep going, bro.
Yeah, and it said the lamb without blemish, because that represents Yahushua. He was the perfect candidate, so to speak, to you know, embody this standard of the law for the nation of Israel. You know, because of what he didn't sin, he didn't transgress when he was on earth. And it also speaks about taking out from the sheep or the goats. Is written, the sheep shall be on one side and the goats on the left.
Yep.
The sheep represents Israel, and the goats represents Esau of the nations. You know. You continue.
This is verse 6, and it says, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole congregation and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening.
And see that's spiritual, you know, because that means basically you had about a 3 or 4 day period where this is the lamb that you know this is the lamb, you know, you preparing it for that slaughter, you know, you preparing that lamb for that 3 or 4. I think it's that's 3 days. From the 10th day to the 14th day?
4 days.
Yeah, 3-4 days. You know, so that's spiritual in itself.
Yep, and that's another thing too. On the 10th day, you separate it. So what are you doing? You're making that lamb holy. You know, you're making that lamb holy, and then you preparing that lamb to be. And that's what the Most High did with Yahushua. You know, he took Yahushua, you know, in the spirit from all the rest of the Israelites and raised him up, and he made him holy so he can perform the ministry and then be sent up as a sacrifice, you know, for Israel, starting with the elect.
Yeah.
You know, so as Yahushua is holy, that's what the lamb represented. You know, being taken away, separate. You know, sanctified and making it holy.
Yeah, and a prime example of that is when Yahushua was in the Garden of Gethsemane, after all the disciples, because he wanted them to stay up with them, but all of them fell asleep, which was through the Spirit. And that's when he was basically pleading to the Lord to not drink of that cup. He was alone when he was pleading to the Lord, and the Lord didn't answer because him alone, he was the only one to drink that cup. And even Peter wanted to drink of that cup with him, but the prophecy didn't have it. It wasn't as such. It was for him to drink that cup alone.
That's right, bro. Keep going.
All right, this is Exodus 12 and 7. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts, and on the upper doorposts of the house wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh, and that night roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it.
That's right. Okay. So this was a spiritual thing, and this on this very day, this happened. Okay, this happened, and this very night was the night that we were to eat the lamb and the bitter herb in the same night, which is this night. However, so many years ago that was when Yahushua came through and killed the firstborn of the Egyptians. So this is a very spiritual night, and a lot of judgment can go out tonight. Okay, certain people that came against this truth, or certain people that ain't moving in the right spirit, they can very well face a judgment, man. Okay, because the Lord ain't playing. You know, this is a very spiritual thing. So, you know, the reasoning behind, you know, putting that that blood of the lamb on your doorpost is showing that was really a act of faith, man. Okay, you know, you may ask, why we gotta put lamb blood on our door? That really shows that was your mark. You covered by that mark.
If I may add to that point too, we were supposed to be shut up in the house.
Yep.
And I'm like what the bishop's going into about judgment, going out. A lot of Jake right now, all the nation of Israel as we speak right now are supposed to be in the house. And there's supposed to be no motion, but Jake is doing everything right now outside of giving reverence to Yahushua, because this is where we were able to be forgiven for our sins too. By him spilling his blood, we were able to have repentance given unto us. So, I'm going to keep reading.
Yeah, keep going.
This is verse 8. I'll read, Exodus 12 and 9. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water.
Who can answer why we were not supposed to eat it raw or sodden with water?
Is it because Yahushua refused to drink the wine mixed with myrrh? He took when it was time for him to go to the cross, he just took it.
No, that's not it. Anybody else want to give it a shot? Nate?
Because we had to eat it in haste.
You had to eat it in haste.
Yeah, you can't boil the water.
Yeah. So, you know, you got to think about food that you have to like cook like a stew. Or
It takes hours.
take stew chicken at least take like 4 or 5 hours. And chicken cook fast. So imagine cooking lamb and sodden in water. So we were supposed to eat it in haste. And what's the quickest way to cook food if you want it fast? Straight direct. Just, you know, so that was the meaning, because after the Lord came and killed the firstborn, then what did he tell Moses to do? He said, y'all gotta go now. You know, go. You know what I'm saying? Because at that moment, the Lord was killing off the firstborn of the Egyptians, and then he was, at the same time, he was hardening Pharaoh's heart to come against the children of Israel. So Pharaoh was pissed off. He was heated. You know, his son died, so it was a great cry in Egypt. So it was a great cry. Everybody was screaming, man. And guess what the children of Israel was doing? Chilling. They was at the crib chilling. And then that's when, you know, the Lord told Moses, hey, y'all gotta go.
That's right.
You know, because Moses went to Pharaoh, he was like, y'all go, man, y'all go. You know, and I think it said 600,000 Israelites left out of Egypt. 600,000. Okay, so we had to move. And that's why with us brothers, we got to move with purpose. Okay, we have to move with a level of purpose. Like we on a mission. We soldiers. Urgency. Already got to be a level of urgency, a level of awareness. You got to be alert. You can't be space age pimping. Go ahead, bro.
This is verse 10. Let me finish verse. I'll read at the top again. This is Exodus 12 and 9. It says, eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire his head with his legs and with the purtenance.
I'm about to add too. That's why we don't season it. We just throw it on the grill or roast it straight up. Yep. So you won't get the hot sauce bottom. Yeah. Because it's a thing that's commonly said in the so-called black community is put something on your stomach. Well, this is just put something on your stomach. Because we had to go. So that's why you had to get the unleavened bread. Okay, because you didn't have time to sit up there and wait for the bread to rise, and you had to eat the lamb. And it says with the head, legs, and purtenance thereof. Now, why did we do that? Because you don't have time to cut the lamb up and butcher it and then gut it and you gotta just throw the whole thing on there and then y'all eat the whole lamb. And if you have anything, just give it to your neighbor. So this is all spiritual. That's why now, in the spirit of Yahushua, being that lamb, now he's what? He's a quickening spirit. Okay? He's a quickening spirit now. Now he bring you up on the level quick because he was that sacrifice. So everything is all spiritual, man. Okay? Everything is spiritual. So let's keep going, bro.
This is Exodus 12 And 10. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. That which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire.
Keep going.
And thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover.
That's right. See, so we had to be, fully girded. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much after you eat, you gotta be ready to bounce. You know, yeah, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready to bounce. And honestly, hey, Scripture say that in the Apocrypha. It says, when tribulation arises in the earth, be ye as pilgrims in the earth. You know what I mean? At times, the Lord is going. It's time to go. So that's why we don't store up our treasures in heaven and houses and cars and money and all that, because man, you can get caught up and Esau can ship your ass to Idaho, to a concentration camp out there. You never know. Okay, so let's keep going on that verse 12.
Come, this is Exodus 12:12, and it says, "And for I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt will I execute judgment." And in my Bible it says, next to the gods of Egypt, the princes of Egypt will I execute judgment. I am the Lord. And the blood.
And if I may say, man, since this happened to Ms. Ryan, niggas ain't been the same ever since. The Lord, since the Lord came through Egypt, what the fuck have they done? The big tall ass Hamites. What empire, great empire, have you seen them build and come up with? What type of great glory and fame are they? Nobody knows. Nobody think about them. The new bowl and Sudanese, the big, tall, lanky. The Lord, when the Lord broke them down, that was pretty much it for them, man.
The Egyptians.
Right.
That's real, man. And then the Ptolemy dynasty came into Egypt and pushed their ass out of there. And took over them Edomites came in there and took over their shit.
They became the new pharaohs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Wisdom of Solomon 18. I get the point. I'm gonna start at verse 6. It says, "Of that night were our fathers certified before, they assuredly, knowing unto what oaths they had given credence, they might afterwards be of good cheer. So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemies. For wherewith thou didst punish our adversaries, by the same thou didst glorify us whom thou hast called." So going into what happened that night, it was the destruction of those Egyptians, but it was for our salvation. And that's what we have to be thankful to the Lord for.
Absolutely.
Because we're His children. We're His sons, and the Lord wanted to get us out of that predicament because of all the wickedness that they were doing to us. The Lord said, "Well, you know what? You're going to serve me, and I'm going to destroy them for you." So then we could do what? So we could glorify the name of Yahweh, okay? And now in the name of Yahweh Shai, And that's why it's important to really reflect on this night, because the Lord did a great thing. Read that last verse one more time. It says, Wisdom of Solomon 18:7, "So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemies." So we got our salvation through that, salvation of the righteous, but it was the destruction of the enemies, and that's something that we have to look for in this time. It's gonna be the same thing all over again.
Yeah, we're seeing it in these times now. The destruction of plagues hitting the world, which we all are familiar with, even as we speak. That's a clearance really in the spirit for us to rise up. Because when the Lord brings up a nation, He always brings one down simultaneously. In order to see our elevation, we got to see the declining of empires such as America, Babylon the Great. So when we see the stock market, we see the Dow drop, we see plagues hitting these places, we see the leaders of the nation, in shambles. We know that deliverance is close now.
That's right. Yeah, let's go back to Exodus 12.
Exodus 12 and 13. It says, "And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you."
That's right. And now what? That same blood that was a token for us back then, that the blood of the Lamb now is a token for us now. Okay? Because Yahushua did what? He entered into the holy place, which is the throne of the Lord, once. So he did it once. But and the only way Yahushua was able to do that, he had to shed his blood. You know, his blood had to be shed for him to go before the throne of the Lord one more time for us. That's a huge favor that he did, man. You know, and ultimately that go all the way back to Yahweh, because Yahweh set that up to where Yahushua, you know, was going to do that. That really showed how much the Most High loved us, that he sent his son, you know, to shed his blood so that he can come back before him, you know, for us. John 3:16. See, that scripture is really slept on, man. That's really a powerful scripture. That's why Satan chose that scripture to deceive the world, because he knew that was one of the most powerful scriptures in the Bible, man. You know, so he had to mangle that, and through him, you know, distorting the understanding, he was able really to control the world off of one scripture.
Yeah,
because that scripture is just that powerful. You know, and that just leads all the way back to the point that Yahushua he's the one that shed that blood. If somebody can get that for me, I think it's in Hebrews, the 9th chapter.
Add that people too.
Go ahead, break that one.
This is Romans. I'll read this one. Romans 5, and start at 9.
Okay.
Get right to the point. It says, 8. It says, "But the Most High commendeth his love toward us, in that while we were yet sinners, Yahushua died for us. Much more then, being now justified by his blood, we shall be saved from wrath through him." It says, verse 10, "For if when we were enemies, we were reconciled to the Most High by the death of his Son, much more being reconciled, we shall be saved by his life."
That's right. So now that we've been reconciled with the Lord, meaning that now the Lord has gave us the authorization of the service. All right, now we can go back out and teach the word. Now we can keep the laws and call on thy name. That was the reconciliation. But through that reconciliation, we'll also be saved. I just want brothers to just meditate and just think about, imagine that very moment where you're being beamed up into a chariot. Just imagine it. How it may feel. The surreal feeling of this thing that you longed for is finally happening to you. That is all because Yahushua did what he had to do. And it's going to happen. Imagine that moment that is actually happening to you. You're being beamed up. Okay? You're being, now you're inside a chariot. Didn't think it looked like this? Wow. You know? That is the only reason that we'll be able to do that, it all goes back to the Lord sending Yahushua. And that's why we got to honor Yahweh Yahushua in our works and in our faith. Okay? Because if we fully understood it, then we would be going extra hard. Okay? But because it's a shadow of things, at times we don't fully understand the true essence of what we're involved with. Because we're in the flesh. So we get caught up in the present, we get caught up in women, and we get caught up into having multiple women, and we get caught up into making money and jobs, and you know what I'm saying? So at times we what happens is you tend to lose sight of the focus. But it all goes back to who? To Yahweh sending Yahushua, his only begotten Son, and shedding that blood. That was an honorable thing that Yahushua did, and we must honor him in our works and in our faith and continue. Okay? Because the course going to get harder. Okay? It's just like on if y'all brothers ever watch American Ninja Warrior, you got the first stage is, it's like, you be watching, like, I can do that shit. Yeah. Then you get to the final stage where you got to, you're like,
upside down.
If you really want that championship and that payout, it get tougher for you. So it's going to get tougher for us, But at the end of the day, all things are possible because the Lord shed his blood. So all we gotta do is just work. Just go hard. Okay?
I got a precept if you don't mind.
Come, you was done with that. Yeah.
This is
Y'all both got
1 John 3 and 5. And it says, and ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not. And the reason why we, if Lord willing, we be part of that number, it says, whosoever abideth in him sinneth not, is because of tonight when he shed his blood. Whosoever sinneth have not seen him, neither known him. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous.
And it also tells you in the law that the blood is the life of man. So when we would put that blood on our doorpost, that's what sanctified us as a people. You know, and it's the same thing now. We're not sanctified because of our personal works. It's not about works. You know, Scripture speak about to work, but it also speaks about really the grace of Yahweh Shai. Really, it's through Yahweh Shai's mercies that we get deliverance. So just like the same thing when the blood passed over, it was really through which Yahweh Shai was that death thing. You read that in Corinthians.
Yep.
You know, but you got to go.
Back to Exodus 12.
I got something real quick.
Yeah, bro, bring it out. Then we
This is Revelation chapter 5, 9, and 10. It says, and they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book, and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain. And this is, of course, speaking about Yahweh Shai. It says, and hath redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood, out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. These are Israelites, because we were scattered everywhere. So now that Yahweh Shai shed his blood, the Israelites, after being disobedient and scattered, now we're given a chance to come back to the Most High through Yahweh Shai's sacrifice. It says, and has redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood, out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and has made us into our power kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. And you got to think about how heavy that is, you know, because we were just speaking about the blood. That's why I brought this out, because Yahweh Shai had to die in order for us to come back. You know how much we owe him?
Right.
You know? So like the bishop said, we have to, you know, just continue to work. You know, and in doing, you know, the good deeds that we've been doing, that's what's going to lead us into that part where we get salvation. You know, so we can live as Yahweh Shai lives now. You know? But I just want to bring that point out about it was through his blood that he did it. And that's, you know, we owe Yahweh Shai.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
You know, and what's so crazy is like the Lord is we gonna clear that debt when we get in the kingdom of heaven, because we're gonna be joint heirs. We gonna at the end it's like we gonna have to help him build the kingdom.
Yep.
You know, but we already, you know, trying to clear that debt now, which really it's really a debt that we'll never be able to clear. That's why we always gonna serve him. You know, we always gonna be up under him, because we'll never be able to fully clear that debt. You know,
We are dead because Yahweh Shai said we're bought with a price.
yeah,
Our bodies aren't sacrificed.
yeah, we sacrifice, man. You got the Hebrews?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, this is Hebrews chapter 9. I started verse 6. It says, now when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of the Most High. But into the second went the high priest alone.
See, who was that? Yahweh Shai. You know, that's why he's that's how you know that Yahweh Shai has to be Melchizedek. Okay, because he really fulfilled the order. You know, when you have the understanding of it, there had to be Yahweh Shai. You know, he was that second high priest. That's why it tells you in Hebrews 7, it says he sprang out of Judah
Concerning which there is no priesthood.
concerning which there is no priesthood, but then he's really the ultimate high priest, because he's the only one that was worthy to go before that throne. You know, And because Yahushua did that, he pretty much opened up the doors for all the tribes to be priests now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just because Yahushua being a Judite, but he was a high priest, then the Lord seen it, fit where all the tribes are priests now. And all the tribes are kings. Instead of just the tribe of Judah, or Ephraim, all the tribes are kings and priests.
And he also he picked up on the law where a lot of men left up or didn't want to pick up. Even the priests at that time, they weren't really fully magnifying their office. So Yahushua kind of somewhat interrupted that priesthood. The Pharisees and the Sadducees said they wasn't sanctifying Israel when Israel was going out being Gentiles. So Yahushua went out his way and he said, you know what? The blood of goats and the blood of rams it wasn't enough to sanctify and purify. He said, I'm going to purify by my own personal blood. You see? But that trumped anything that the priest could, daily offerings, it trumped all that. Just one man's blood, one time. That was enough to sanctify him.
Verse 7 again. But into the second went the high priest alone once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the errors of the people. And that's the Day of Atonement.
Yeah.
And now we're jumping down to verse 11. It says, but Yahushua being come and high priest of good things to come, by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood, he entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us.
Like, think about that. Eternal, just he did it one time, and that led to eternity.
Yep.
That was a power move that Yahushua did. Mm-hmm. That was a power move because if that never happened in the spirit, there's no telling what we'll be right now. Mm-hmm. There's no telling what we'll be.
That's why Herod put so much effort into killing all the babes under 3 years old, because even he understood in the spirit that once this man and Yahushua came on the scene, it was a wrap for everybody.
Yeah, that's true, man. And I want you to go down one more go to verse 20. Go to verse 22.
Okay.
This is like 20. Go to 20.
Okay. Hebrews 9 and 20. Saying, this is the blood of the testament which the Most High hath enjoined unto you.
Go ahead. Yeah, see, this is the blood of the testament. Okay? And we're joined to that testimony, man. Okay? You know why we're joined to that testimony? Because we're witnesses. Okay? If you're a witness, bro, you just as much as a part of that testimony than the actual person. Because you see it.
You hold the testimony.
You hold the testimony. So, the case is even more stronger when you have a witness.
Oh yeah.
You got a witness, bro. First thing that's gonna happen, bro, we gotta get rid of that witness.
Really put your witness and witness protection.
Yep. And so because the Lord enjoined us to that testimony, we have to make sure that we doing the right thing, because if we don't, you're susceptible to get got. Because at the end of the day, if we don't stay within Yahushua, what happened? Esau don't care if you fell out the truth, bro. He gonna get you. Okay? Because you knew at one point in time, so it doesn't matter to Esau. Okay? You leave out the truth, bro, Esau gonna get on your ass. Because at the end of the day, okay, you might have an issue. You may think you have an issue with brothers, but Esau don't give a damn.
Right.
Esau don't care. Great millstone, you scoffing and going against him. Esau don't care. You knew. That's what matters. You knew it. So the best thing to do is stay within this program, because now we've been enjoying into the testimony. And this is serious. Esau hates this testimony, man. One thing about it, Esau hates these prophecies, man, because all these prophecies are against him. Okay? Let's keep reading on that till I want.
Come on. It says, verse 21, moreover, he sprinkled with blood both the tabernacle and all the vessels of the ministry.
See? It said he sprinkled the blood both of the tabernacle. Now, what is that tabernacle? That's the brothers. That's the body. And then it says, in all the vessels of the ministry. Yeah. Okay?
Gold, silver.
Yep. That's the vessels of the ministry. Okay? That blood is over. And and your families. Because households, the Lord's going to save households. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's that building, that third temple that's being established right now, man. Okay? Keep going, bro.
It says, and almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission. It was therefore necessary that the patterns of things in the heavens should be purified with these, but the heavenly things themselves with better sacrifices than these. Right, because when you go into the law, you had to, the priest had to take the blood and sprinkle it on the earthly vessels. But as far as the heavens, you don't have to do that. Because in the heavens, really the blood is really through Yahweh Shai. It says, verse 24, for Yahweh Shai is not entered into the holy places made with hands, which are the figures of the truth, but into heaven itself, now to appear in the presence of the Most High for us.
See, that's a heavy scripture right there. It says, for Yahweh Shai is not entered into the holy places made with hands, which are the figures of the truth, but into heaven itself. So that was the only way that Yahweh Shai could go back to that access point. Okay? He couldn't go to the temple and go before the Lord. Right. His blood had to be shed. He went back to the spirit world, and in them 3 days, that was when he made that plea. Then came back. You see? So it's all spiritual. yeah. Come on, man. And then when he came back, you know what I'm saying? He's like, pretty much we good. Like, hey, send you out. We good now. Yep. Send y'all out. I gotta go back to the spirit world, prepare a place for you in the heavens, and, sit on the throne of my Father, and, but I'll be back, to gather y'all, but we good, y'all. Basically, of course, he didn't say it like that, but basically, that's why when right before he gave up the spirit, he said, what? He said, it's finished. And at that moment, he was able to go back before the throne of the Most High, and guess what happened? The Lord received it. He received that offering from Yahweh Shai. Nobody else could have did that. So that's heavy. And we must fully understand what we're a part of. Okay? Not partially. Okay? Fully. Because when we don't fully have an understanding of what we're a part of, it leaves room for Satan to come in and remove this from you. Okay? And honestly, we don't want that to happen, but it's a part of the story. Okay? But it's up to us as individuals and ministers to not let that happen. Okay? Even though it's predestined, there's still a level of responsibility. Okay? That if you hold yourself to it, it says what? The scripture say, you shall in no wise be barren. Yep. You're going to be fruitful. But if you don't do it, and you find yourself, looking like a tree on the west side in the winter, that ain't nobody's fault. You ain't get off finish line. You let other brothers, young brothers come in and do you in. Outdoing you. Hey, it happened like that. You got certain brothers that come in with a level of zeal that just like, he really old, he passing you. Now, that's how it go. Because you gotta figure out what you want out of this. Okay? Some brothers know what they want. Some brothers just mad at Babylon. You know what I'm saying? Which one outweighing which? You want to be saved or you want to be mad at Babylon? Okay? So let's get back into that the Exodus 12. Did y'all brother have any precepts or something?
I had.
You had a quick
Psalms. This is Psalms 100. I'm just gonna have one real quick read through it. It says Psalms 101. It says, "Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye not that the Lord, he is God? It is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people, and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name, for the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations." I just want to read that quickly. back to Exodus 12 and 14. And it says, "And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. And ye shall keep it a feast by the ordinance forever. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your house. For whosoever eateth leaven from the first day unto the seventh day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel."
That's right. And see, this was when, we had, the law was real strict. Okay, now you had certain people that did get jacked up for eating leaven because the law, that was the actual schoolmaster at that time. But now in these times that we're living in, bro, the air got leaven in it, yeast. So you can't hold your breath for a week. Get some box. That just got yeast off in that thing. It's just being funny. The toothpaste. You know what I'm saying? It's all kind of things that got yeast in it. So it's like now we're not technically under that. You might slip up. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I slipped up. Well, that's where the Spirit come in at. Repent. So it's easier to serve the Lord right now. When you think about it. Because really everything is already covered. You just got to do the work, have faith. But back then, them 7 days, you wasn't supposed to eat the leaven. You're supposed to put all leaven, out of your house. And another reason why we was able to keep that law is because our women cooked.
Yeah.
So they had control over the ingredients.
Yeah. And leaven was a separate thing. Like now, like Bishop said, we buy food that got yeast extract and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But back then, you had to add the leaven. Like leaven was like a separate thing. Like you added leaven to the bread. So you just remove all the leaven out, and you just got, your wheat, your eggs, just for the bread.
Yeah, that's where you get like flat bread and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Certain bread that doesn't rise. That's why it also says 7 days shall you eat leaven. Well, unleavened bread. And I remember Jake in the camp, I ain't got to say his name, but he was saying that it's like, really you want to eat the unleavened every day. Which at first when we started, we wasn't doing it. But I was like, it does say eat unleavened bread 7 days, and I was like, well, it does say that. So, it is good to rehearse that also. Like a little piece in remembrance, as well as sending prayers up, but because, just in remembrance and to purge yourself, because that leaven represents pride, it represents being leavened up,
Can I real quick precept? Because you made a point about the unleavened bread. We read out this chapter earlier, but this is back in 1 John 3 and 8, and it says, "He that committed sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of Yahweh Shai was manifested, that we might destroy the works of the devil." Because like you said, being that we believe in Yahweh Shai, we're covered from that. So if you slip up, you can repent. But unlike the rest of the nation, 2/3 that aren't, they're born of the devil. So them eating leaven under this period of time, the Lord can cast them from the congregation.
Oh yeah.
So I just want to throw that out there.
Because these are the same ones that was murmuring in the wilderness. So the Lord ain't even dealing with them at this go around. So, Jake out here, going off. And not to mention, we out there. How long we been telling Jake this, man? How long we been going through this? How long we been, went into this and so much more the apostles. So really it's getting to a point where it ain't no excuse. The internet is, bro, they know the Hebrew Israelites. They're not worried about us. But guess what? We ain't worried about them.
I was Publix on the way here getting a bottle of Young, and I took a picture of it, but they had a whole section just for the Passover. Like, of course, the Esau's standard of matzah, and they had kosher wine, but it was a whole lane or owl cap at the end. It was the whole Passover setup. So like how you said, the spirit is up there. It's just a matter of if you're gonna look at that and be like, what's this? And then you're gonna see our live streams, Passover. So there's people like us doing it. So there's absolutely no excuse.
That's right, bro.
Back to Exodus.
Yeah, we'll read a couple more verses in Exodus 12, and then hit a few more precepts.
Okay, this is Exodus 12 and 16. And it says, "And in the first day there shall be a holy convocation, and in the seventh day there shall be a holy convocation to you. No matter of work shall be done in there, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you."
Right, so, those 7 days was really supposed to be a 7-day period of relaxation, except, cooking. You prepare your food, which we know we can't do that. We know we can't do that. So, just observe it to the best of your ability. But we can gather on the first night, which is tonight, and the seventh night, for a holy convocation, to just be in the spirit, man. This is our thing, man. So Esau be wanting you to do his shit to the best of your ability. So, we can do this is our thing, man.
That's right.
So, we can, to the best of our ability, serve the Lord, man. That's what's pleasing in His sight, man. And that's what we want to do. We want to please our Father, man. Okay? Because, you get tired of seeing the Lord getting, screwed here in America. Everywhere you look, nobody's thinking about the Lord. But that's why we have to be the ones to step up and please the Lord and show the Father, like, hey, I love you. I'm with you. I do what you want me to do. That's important. That make the Lord want to do for you. So let's you read 17, right?
No, I can read 17.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 17, and it says, "And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall you observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever."
That's right, man. We read all the way to 20, bro.
Verse 18, and it says that in the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at even. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses, for whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land.
Yeah, because you gotta think about it. Back then, if you ate leaven, you did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the women were the cooks. They had control over the ingredients. They wasn't going to the store buying wheat bread.
Soup.
Yeah, Campbell soup or Wonder Bread. And getting it in. They was creating meals from the earth. So if you added leaven to your bread, that was done on purpose. That's why that law is so strict, where it said your soul shall be cut off from the congregation, because that was just a clear act of rebellion if you did something. And you had a lot of tempting going on in Israel back in the day, man. Because you gotta remember, the Lord was known, but He wasn't well known. Right. He was known. But he wasn't well known, so Jake had a little pep in his step, so to speak, when it came to tempting the Lord. Because they didn't really, the Lord wasn't, really known like, now they knew about the flood, but this was the time where the Lord was making Himself known. So you had a lot of people, Jakes in the wilderness that was testing, they were murmuring, talking shit, coming up against Moses, coming up against the Lord. So these different laws right here was showing the level of strictness and how much we needed to obey the Lord. You gotta think like, damn, like this guy ain't letting him get cut off. Because you're thinking about it now in America, like, what if I slip up? Back then, it really wasn't no thing to slip up. Because you would purposely,
you had to add it in there.
Yeah, you would purposely take the leaven and add it. But nowadays, damn.
Yeah, everything.
So I just wanted to bring that quick point out. We'll read verse 20 and we'll switch gears.
Exodus 12 and 20. And it says, "And ye shall eat nothing leavened. In all of your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread."
That's right. It says all your generations. So, this is the thing that we gonna also do in the kingdom of heaven. All right. But the Spirit can have it to where, you know, the Lord created a memorial for the deliverance from America. Okay, because the scriptures say what? It says, it shall not be said no more that the Lord God of Egypt brought you out of Egypt, but the Lord delivered you out of the land of the north. So in the kingdom of heaven, we'll have a day that's going to, you know, commemorate the day we left out of America, man. You know? That's going to be big, man.
Yeah, and even in 2nd Ezra, the Lord said He's going to deliver us from Egypt with the plague, but it's new Egypt like the plagues from before, you know? And we see the same thing going on. I think I forgot what brother posted that red, bloody, it looked like, you know, when the blood of the sea, it was something to a certain degree. Brother had posted that. But there was a lot of signs this year, man.
In China, I posted that one. Okay. In China, the river turned into blood.
And that happened, brother, remember, a couple of years back.
It did, yeah.
You know? So the Lord showing a sign of the locust infestation, sending 100,000 ducks to try to cover the locusts, as well as the plagues of the coronavirus and all. And it's multiple viruses that's spiraling out.
Yeah, really.
You know, so that's the plagues that the Lord was speaking of. You know,
the cattle. There's been a lot of cattle dropping.
Cattle deaths.
Niggas is getting hit up, man.
And what happens when tragedies like this happen? Bible cells start to go through the roof. People start to see, are we in an apocalyptic time? We in a time of the end, the last days.
Biblical proportion.
Yeah, that's right, man. So we just gonna switch gears. We're gonna go in the spirit of being fruitful, man. You know, there's really no excuse not to be fruitful in these times. The scriptures say what? If the Lord be with us, who could be against you? Okay, so the only person that can really stop you from being fruitful in this thing is you. It ain't nobody else's fault. All right, if you ain't make it to the NBA, that's not your college coach's fault. Look at the guy, the new guy for those that watch sports. The guy, his name is Ja Morant. Yeah. His college low level. Don't nobody even know that college. Yeah. But guess what? He worked his ass off and he performed. He did what he had to do, and because of that, he made it to the big league. So at the end of the day, it goes on. It goes into whatever you put into this thing, you get back. Okay, like we were speaking about this Instagram influencer that goes by the name of Boom Gang, and basically he had put out so much bad energy out there that it was coming back to him. So now he tried to switch up his whole image, and be like, I'm done with going in the store and grabbing stuff, because he was getting his job knocked out, he was getting shot at, jumped. His whole life he was getting arrested. His whole life spiraled out of control because of what he put out there. Okay, and he got back what he put out there. So it's the same method in the truth. Whatever you put into it, the truth is going. That's how the truth is going to treat you. You neglect the truth, he's going to neglect you. Don't be mad at another brother that's flourishing and blossoming in the faith, and thinking he got spirits on him. But look at what he's doing. Look at what he's putting into it. Okay, that's how you get your return. That's how you grow. That's how you come up on the level. Okay, it's the same thing in a work setting. You want to get promoted? You got to work. You got to be on time. You got to know what the job's about. You got to know the mission statement. You got to know all these things to get promoted. So it's the same thing in the faith. So let's start with John chapter 15 and go to verse 8. Y'all go, we have to get it out. Go ahead and watch it out.
This is John chapter 15, verse 8.
Start at 7.
John 15 and 7 says, if ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you.
See that? That bro, that's easy. Whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? But before you can get access to that, it says you have to abide in me, and the words have to abide in you. And that takes what? It takes effort, it takes diligence, it takes consistency, it takes patience, it takes listening, it takes following directions and orders. All right, so that you can that word can fully rest within you. And then at that point, you ask Yahweh Bashimao whatever you need, and it'll be done for you. But if you don't get these things, if you praying and you're like, man, my prayers ain't being answered, what are you doing? If the Lord ain't answering your prayers, it's something that you're doing. It's something that you're not doing. You can't want something for nothing in this thing. That ain't how it works. You know what I'm saying? It's an even exchange. Okay? So the words got to be in you. You got to know how to move with these words in order to grow. You got to preset on it?
Yeah. This is First John 3:22. It says, and whatsoever we ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments and do those things that are pleasing in his sight. Like Taliban said, we ask for things you might not feel like you get praise instant. Maybe you're not pleasing the Heavenly Father. Maybe you're doing something that's, causing that blockage, so to speak. That's why we read with that Tobit. It says what praise good with fasting, alms. It says in righteousness. Sometimes you're doing bullshit. You wonder, Lord, they probably got clean your act up, man.
Yeah, and I remember, being younger in the faith, and you pray for something, you think it's going to drop from the heaven.
Oh yeah.
It's ramifications when dealing with prayers also and things that you want from the Lord. First off, is it something that's going to help balance you and make you built up, or is it just something of the lust of the flesh? One, and it's still other factors that set in with what you pray for. That's why I got a precept to go with that. James 4:2. Oh, you got that? Oh, I started 1. From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, even of your lusts that warn your members? Ye lust and have not. Ye kill and desire to have and cannot obtain.
They say you lust and have not. Be lusting after all the women and you ain't got nothing on the side. But be going off. That's why the best thing to do is, desire spiritual things, spiritual gifts. Because the lust of the flesh all 10 times out of 10 gonna lead you the wrong way.
Because it's an appetite. You have a strong appetite for things in the world, but most things that you want, you really don't need. And that comes from us being youthful. Youthful lust and things. That's why Scripture says that. What? Flee youthful lust.
And then also another thing is you come into a form of power. And you got to know how to harness that power. Just because you find out, you know what I'm saying, Edomites going to go into slavery don't mean that you go looking for Edomites to beat up. You got to know how to harness that power. Just because you find out you can have multiple women in this lawful don't mean you go out and try to get 3 wives. Create a whole sister wife scenario. And then next thing you know, you're trying to figure out why they got demons on them. Like, ain't the time, bro. You get you something on the side and call it a night. So you have to know how to harness that power. It's just not about having power. Okay? You exercising lordship over people and you treating people like shit. Okay? Every Edomite you look at, you just want to just show like I'm an Israelite and I'm over you nigga. Fuck you. You ain't tipping nobody at the restaurant. Just being a straight anal person. That's not what it's about. All right, it's about harnessing and possessing the fruits of the spirit and letting that light work through you.
Yeah, and just to add to what you're saying, a lot of times you got to scale back before the Lord puts more on your plate. What does the Scripture say? He's not gonna give you more than you can handle. It's a lot of stuff that you just got to take off. Like I got to work on cutting back on this, that, and the other. Just like if you're trying to grow something, dealing in terms of gardening, sometimes the things that you plant doesn't thrive because of all kind of weeds, all kind of pests that might be pegging at it. So you got to clear the whole slate and make sure that it has the right ingredients so that it can grow by and by. Too much water. Yep. Proper sunlight. All these things, and all of it's written in the Scriptures. But a little bit more. It says, "Ye lust and have not; ye kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not." Ye ask.
And sometimes, you have to be direct with them. All the time, you got to be direct with the Lord. As a matter of fact, let me get a quick precept to prove that, because the Lord really, is really, it's not of the spirit to approach the throne of the Lord, in deception.
Oh yeah.
You gotta be straightforward, man. Let me get this quick precept.
And it's just like a father figure. Like if your child is actually father for 30. Say that you want to go to your parents and ask for $100. Like $100 for what? And you start answering questions, and they're gonna still have have more questions on top of what you're saying. And then it all gets to the point where it's really like you don't really want it for anything. It's you don't need the money. You're gonna work for it. What have you been doing? Have you had a good progress report?
Yeah.
You showing that you're not even responsible to even even get this money that I'm giving to you. I had to bust my ass to get this money, but to give it to you, are you even responsible? Or is this are you gonna actually appreciate what I'm giving you? And if you're not gonna appreciate it, what's gonna happen? The Father ain't gonna give it to you. Period.
He don't give it to you. And I got a quick precept showing you that because like that scripture read that part again. Say ye ask not.
Ye lust and have not, ye kill and desire to have, and cannot obtain. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not, because ye ask not.
See? So sometimes you gotta be direct with the Lord. The Lord, like I tell my sons, I can't read your mind, bro. You gotta tell me. You gotta let me know. I don't know, I can guess, but you gotta be direct. This is Hebrews 4:16. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need. See? That's why I say ye ask and ye have not, because you tiptoe on your prayers. You ain't keeping it real. You tell the brothers you praying, but are you keeping it real in them prayers? Are you really repenting? You know what I'm saying? It's like I went off right here. Are you repenting for things that brothers never called you out on? That only you know? Or only you knew? Or you acting like, I'm just that dude. Okay? All these things come to light. Okay? Nothing can be hid from the Lord. The Lord knew we was going to sin before we even sinned. So how can you hide? You can't even hide. You ain't even did nothing and the Lord already knew he was going to do it.
Subject to vanity.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep it real. Okay? You got to come correct or don't come at all. Okay? You wonder why you get to a certain point in the truth and you don't know how to grow? You feel stagnant? Like your gears can't switch? It happens. It happens, bro. It happens in life. To people, just normal people. People don't know their next move. Okay? But in the truth, if you feel like your gears is grinding, you got to keep it real. Something holding you back. Okay? It's not always going to be a brother that'll tap you on your shoulder and say, hey, this is why you're being held back. Right. It's you. You gotta internalize and examine so that you can grow. There's a weed in your spirit that's trying to stop you, bro. And only you know what it is. And you gotta say it to the Lord. The Lord is not gonna remove it unless you say it. Okay? He won't take it away unless you actually say, like, this is what it is.
I got that word boldly in the blue letter.
Go ahead, bro.
It says freedom in speaking, unreservedness, plainly, without ambiguity, openly, frankly, without concealment.
Openly, man.
Keeping it real.
Man, you gotta keep it real. It can't just be a blanket prayer all the time. You gotta talk to your Father. Because he know. It ain't like he don't know, but he's like, okay, he ain't gonna say nothing, I ain't gonna say nothing. You gonna sit back and wonder why he keep getting got on and keep getting reproved and all this and possibly demoted and pulled into counsel. He ain't saying it. And eventually when you don't have that open relationship with the Lord, what did he do? Take the Spirit. Okay? Because we're coming back, we're reconciling with our power. So we gotta keep it real. Okay? That's what it's about. We gotta keep it real. Okay? You can't hide, anything. You can hide it from man. You can't hide nothing from the Lord. He created you. Okay? So we want to grow in this thing. We want to produce fruit. And we want to be great. Great laborers, great brothers, great friends, great teachers and leaders and good husbands and sons to the Heavenly Father. You got to keep it real. Because it's only you stopping you. Okay? Nobody else is going to stop you. Okay? At the end of the day, nobody can stop you in this truth but yourself. Okay? You can look at the next man beside you and call out 1,000,001 things. You should be able to call out 5,000,001 things in yourself. Yeah. That's just real.
A little bit more. It says, ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that you may consume it upon your lust. And that's where it goes all the way back to your lust. And you lust and have not. But it said, ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that you may consume it upon your lust. And that's why, like, when you think about Solomon's prayer, You know, what did he pray for when he came, you know, boldly unto the authority of the Most High? He prayed for abundant knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to stand in the seat of a king. He didn't ask for riches. He didn't ask for women. He didn't ask for treasures. He didn't ask for any of these things. He asked to actually be, you know, gird up and be strong enough to lead a nation. And it's the same thing with us, you know. Because all those things come in due time anyways. You want a woman, you want power, you want resources, control, all these, you know, talking about controlling as in, you know, the kingdom. Those things come in due season, but the first, like it says, I think it's Wisdom of Solomon. If you desire thrones and you desire sepulchres, you know, it says, therefore seek wisdom. You know, so everything starts off from wisdom. You know, wisdom is the beginning of, you know, wisdom and the fear of the Lord is the beginning. But that's all I had.
I got a
you had something?
Yeah, just a real quick one. All right, this is Proverbs 16:2. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. All right, just like brothers are going into. All right, you know, the flesh is always going to assume that you're right. You know, like brothers are going into how you know you're not always going to be able to point out, you know, when you're wrong, the ways that you're wrong. It says, but the Lord weigheth the spirits, and that word spirits in my Bible says the motives. All right, so like Brother Barzal was going into, like how a father will get down. Okay, what's your motive? What's your intention?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that intention is very it's very important, because it's like for instance, if you ask the Lord for some money, you know, okay, well, what's your intention behind the money? Why do you know, what's your purpose? What is your motive? You know, just like when you look at investigators or whatever, when criminals do a certain crime, what's their motive? What was their purpose of, you know, doing it? So, you know, the Lord knows your heart, you know, but you gotta, like your brother said, always want spiritual gifts, you know, and because you're always gonna assume that you're right in your own eyes, you know.
The flesh is always right in his own eyes. I got a quick precept in the scripture. This is Ecclesiastes 39:19. It says, the works of all flesh are before him, and nothing can be hid from his eyes. So the Lord, and that, by the way, that was from the brother KBC. Shalom, bro.
Hey, shalom.
Yeah, you know, but hey, everything is before the Lord. You can do certain things in darkness. We ain't, you know, the things that I do when brothers are not around, the Lord sees it. Yeah. Okay, the Lord knows everything, man. Okay, because you know why? You got angels watching you. You got angels watching you, bro. Okay, there's literally angels. Group of angels that's watching, that gives you the Holy Spirit through Yahweh Shai. So they report when you go off. But guess what? They also report when you repent. Yeah, you went off, you repented. Okay, you doing work. Okay, so you know, do good to yourself, man. Don't sit up there and think you're getting away with that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't even do yourself like that. You tripping. You know, going all clean off and you acting like you ain't doing nothing, bro. You going off. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Okay? Repent, man. Okay? Repent and clean up the act. Because we're going into times where, you know, you ain't going to be able to blame GMS if you get shot down by some troops. It's GMS's fault. You know? We warned you about the race wars. Okay? We warned you about the pestilence and all of these different things, man. So it comes a time in this faith where you got to take accountability, you know, for how you move. Okay? You got to take accountability for how you move. That's how you grow. That's how you become better.
That's the only way to grow.
That's how you become better. You know, a better person. You know, you can desire to be like this, brother. But the thing is, you can be. You can be greater. But it's all about what you're willing to put into this thing. How far are you willing to go with this? How much you willing to dedicate to this? You want to lose some sleep for this truth? Are you willing to lose a family member behind this, a relationship? You willing to lose a job? You willing to lose your life? You got to take it to that extreme in order to be a great spirit. Because it takes dedication. Okay? And it's all about growth. Okay? It's all about growth. If you're not growing in this thing, the Lord gonna clip you. Okay? Okay? It could be. All right? And that's not what we look forward to. We don't look for that. Okay? So let's grab for me, grab Colossians chapter 1. And we'll start at verse 9. If y'all brothers got something too, y'all bring it out. Okay.
You want to drop John 15?
Matter of fact, hit verse 16.
John 15 and 16 real quick?
Yeah, real quick.
All right, I'll read that. This is John 15 and 16. And it says, "Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you that ye shall go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit shall remain, that whosoever ye shall act, and that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you."
That's right. So the Lord said he ordained us and chose us that we bring forth fruit. So this truth is about bringing forth fruit. And the first fruits you got to bring forth is the fruits within yourself. The fruits of your own spirit. The gifts that the Lord put in your spirit that's being shadowed by the flesh. Okay? Once you get over that hurdle and you're able to bring out the fruits of the spirit within yourself, you can bring those fruits out of other people. You can change the way other people think. You can give that light to other people. But how can you change, how somebody else thinks if you can't change the way you think? Okay? If you want, we've been called to change the world, literally. The way people think. Okay? But before we can do that, we have to change the way we think. And it has to be according to the Holy Spirit. We have to think like the Lord. That's why Yahweh Shai said what? Let this mind be in you. Okay? So if that mind is in you, then you'll have the power to put that mindset in others that believe. Okay? But it all starts within us. Okay? That's where it starts at, in our own spirit. Okay? It's not the next man. We're fellow laborers, we're yokemen. Okay? But at the end of the day, nobody in this room is going to determine your fate except for you. Okay? Nobody else. You got guys that fall out the truth like Marwar and Mahar. Not Mahar Salaki. That brother's still going strong. Salaki. Marwar and Nawak and Gabar and Atalaya and all these other guys from the various different other camps. And at the end of the day, yeah, you could place fault on people for whatever reason, but you ain't doing the work. You ain't doing nothing. Y'all ain't doing nothing. Okay, things happen. Okay, in the truth, but what have you done? What have you done? What have you done lately? Hey, how the saying go?
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, what have you done for me lately, man? Okay, and we have to be consistent with this thing, man. Okay, so the Lord ordained us to bring forth fruit. If you ain't bringing forth fruit, especially within your own self, you gotta check yourself, man. Okay, you got certain brothers that bring forth an abundance of fruit according to their measure, and some brothers just bring forth fruit according to their measure. It's all good. But if you ain't bringing nothing of no type of fruit out in the spirit, you just barren. Okay, you just is that fig tree that Yahweh Shai cursed, man.
And you see how
that's what you got.
I was gonna say, you see how much of a curse being barren was, even with women in the ancient world. They wanted to be put to death, basically. Yeah. They thought it was worse than, basically they didn't even think it was a life to live. Yeah, it wasn't even worthy of being alive if they were barren. Because fruit is extremely important. What you produce is life, and if you don't produce life, then you're basically lifeless. You're just a lifeless vessel. You see what I'm saying? So that's important for each and every one of us to always grow in abundance and pray that we continue. And that's individually, that's collectively, growing on all ends as better brothers, leaders, servants to Yahweh Shema Shai, growing better character. Because none of us has got to our peak. If we, was perfect, the Lord would have delivered us. There's still a lot more work that we have to do, as far as a nation, so we just have to work and constantly check and monitor ourselves and see what we need as individuals to become better and better in the faith of Yahweh Shema. You got it, bro.
That's right. Somebody read that Colossians 1 and started at 9.
I'm done.
Go ahead, bro.
This is Colossians chapter 1, verse 9. For this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you, and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will and in all wisdom and spiritual understanding.
Yeah, so this is Paul speaking to me and his brother. We did a lesson on this chapter. And they said, we cease not to pray for you, because Paul had a pure spirit. He wanted to see brothers grow. He wanted to see brothers increase and pray for brothers. But he also corrected brothers. They be on their job, man. But that should be the sincere intent behind you. You're supposed to want to see a brother grow, come up on the level. Like, man, you're getting this thing, okay? And you're not gonna take pleasure in the brother that's just falling behind. You're gonna always be on it, but that's a good thing, okay? Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying. If a brother stop getting on you, that's it. Yeah. The Lord stop talking to you. You're in trouble, man. Okay, you don't want to be one of the brothers. Ain't anybody saying nothing to him, man. You don't. That's not what you want to be. You want to be that brother that's open. Hey, let me know, bro. Okay, because the desire is that you be filled with the knowledge and wisdom and all spiritual understanding. But that takes you, putting in that effort. Remember, the scripture say, "Give diligence to make your calling of election sure." You can't make your election sure, but before you can make it sure, you got to be diligent. Okay. So let's read verse 10.
Verse 10, that ye might walk worthy of the Lord unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work, and increasing in knowledge of the Most High.
See that? It say in every good work. Everything you do is just fruitful. Okay? Everything you're doing is just bringing forth life to people. Okay? To yourself, to your family, to the brothers. Okay? Everything you do is fruitful. Okay? People see your impact. They don't want you to leave. It's because how you carry yourself. You're being a fruitful person because you're in the spirit of the Lord. Wherever the Lord went, whether it was good or bad, people knew he was there. Whether people liked him or disliked him, they felt that spirit. Okay? And that same spirit is in all of us. Okay? The same spirit is in all of us. We must believe that. We must be confident in that. And we must walk in that true spirit. Okay? Because we have that spirit. Okay? That's right. So from there, did anybody have a precept?
I got one. You go ahead.
Go ahead.
This was going back to what you were saying earlier. This is 2 Corinthians 13:5.
Read up a little bit too hard.
This is 2 Corinthians 13:5. It says, "Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves?"
And this is a real crucial time of examination. We're getting ready to go into some very turbulent times. And we want to go into this thing confident. Okay? We don't want to go into this thing, with that dark cloud lingering over us that we could have did more. I could have bonded with that brother more. I stayed 10 minutes away from him. I never went and did a lesson for him. Never did a lesson with him. I never called to check up on that brother, man. Damn. I never read that book. If you ain't eating this roll, why you teaching? So we want to be Salaki, bro. We want to be in a real serious mindset of self-examination, man. Okay? See where you fall short at, and when you find out where you fall short at, don't sit up there and just be like, yeah, well, that's just fix it, man. Okay? You have the power to fix it. We all do. Okay? We have Yahweh Shah. We have access to fix anything that we feel like is wrong with us. We don't have to settle for that's just me. Okay? We can grow from that. We can be better. Okay? Spiritual powers is not a normal thing. How do you think you get that access? Okay? Of course, through the Lord. So you have to grow in this thing, man. You have to examine yourself. You have to, find those things that's holding you back. And, man, get rid of them, man. Get them out of there, man. Don't sit up there and let that stuff take root in your spirit. Next thing you know, it becomes you. Get it out of there, man. All right? You don't want to be infected fruit. You want to be good, wholesome fruit, man, that can be used to bring life to people, man. Okay?
I was thinking about that earlier about fruit. You know, you ever got a rotten fruit that don't look rotten on the outside? You bite into that thing, you see, first thing you want to do is spit it out.
Yep.
But it might have maggots or something inside of it. And you don't want to be one of those type of brothers, you know. And that includes me, you know. That's for all of us. You never want to grow rotten because some men they come have pure intentions when they first start in the truth, and then eventually, like it tells you in Matthew the 13th chapter, the world and the materialistics, which I get that. Certain things choke you out because you can't. We all can get choked out. That strangler is hard to get out of, man.
Yeah,
that's a powerful move, you know.
It is.
And by and by, you start to get demonized. Now you're looking at this man. Now there's something wrong with this brother. There's something wrong with him. Matter of fact, there's something wrong with all y'all. Matter of fact, I ain't like none of y'all niggas when I'm saying. Hey, it was a man that said that. When he first came in, he said, you know, he was cool. We loved the brother when he first came in.
Yeah.
On his time leaving, what he said, I ain't never like none of y'all
niggas anyway.
None of y'all niggas anyway.
Like that.
But you know, we joke around about it now. But hey, that demons can warp your whole mentality, man. I should have went to college, you know, for this shit. You know, Jacob started getting that type of spirit. You know, I could have just, you know, followed my dreams and, you know, stayed with my ex girl. You know.
Yeah. That's
you want to get in that mentality, man. Taking it for granted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that at all, man. You know, was it some more?
A little bit more. It says, how that Yahushua Hamashiach is in you, except you be reprobates.
See that? It says, except you be reprobate, meaning you're an individual that's void of judgment. You don't have no discernment. You don't have no spiritual awareness. Okay, you just void of judgment. Okay, you don't know you're being sifted. Okay, like we was talking about in the day of camp. Okay, you gotta know when you're being sifted, man. Okay, because you remember, you know, Yahushua told Peter, he said, Satan desires to sift you as wheat is sifted. Meaning that was Satan's desire. Like it was a strong, like, Peter, man. You know what I'm saying? Yahushua told him that. Satan desire, he desire. Think about that. Satan don't give a damn about 2/3, bro. Right. His desires is to sift you. Get you out the truth. Because if he can get you out the truth, he can get Christ. Okay? If he can get us chipped, that's all that matters. He don't care about, like we were saying in camp, he don't care if little baby get chipped. Niggas gone. He already got the chip right. Because it's a mindset. You want to get the elect chip. Okay? So you have to know when you're being sifted. You have to know when your energy is changing. When certain things are coming at you, you're like, you know what? That's Satan, man. I got to do something about that. Because if not, man, it's not going to end well for me. You got to see that. Because the brother's not going to be right there with you every day of your life and watch you be sifted. Okay, see, Yahushua saw that because, of course, he was son of the Most High, but he was with Peter. Okay, he was with him. Okay, you have to be able to see when you're being sifted, and you have to change that. Like, hell no. You know what I'm saying? No. I got to cut that out. All right? Because this thing going to get serious, man. We get ready to go head up with some real spirits out here, man. Okay? Some spirits that we even know existed. Like, this is a true devil. We see Edomite. This is a different type of Edomite, man. Okay? We're going to go up with that. So you have to make sure we locked into this thing, man. Because if not, man, hey, it's gonna get real, man. It's gonna get real out here. All right? And we all have to make sure that we're settled, like that lesson. Settle it therefore in your minds. You have to settle certain things in your mind so you can get over these things. Okay? The reason black women can't get over America because they haven't settled in their mind the reality of what this place is. Okay? So when we settle certain things in our mind, we cope with it and we prepare for it. And that's what it's about. Preparation, man. All right? Proper preparation, man.
It prevents poor performance.
Yep. Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Right there. It's true. It's definitely true. I remember he said that, you know, proper preparation prevents poor performance. If you prepare beforehand for all the things that's going to come to you, which we already know, hell is coming on this world, and it's to us personally. And if we prepare properly, then we'll be able to overcome. You know, it's written. You know,
it's real. You know, and that's how you become fruitful. You know, because Scripture say that you shall not be barren in no no fruit. Okay? So we'll get a few more precepts. Somebody get 1 Peter chapter 1. This is like 2 Peter 1 and 5.
I got it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, this is 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 5. And besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge. You know, so that's what you know, and you know that virtue that you add into yourself is basically like a pure heart, pure mind. You know, because you honestly and sincerely believe in this thing. So that's what you add into your faith. You know, the sincerity of what we're involved in. It says, and to virtue knowledge, and to knowledge temperance, which is like what the bishop said earlier. You know, you gotta know how to basically hold the knowledge. You know, it says, and in temperance, patience. You gotta be patient. And that's something that we really all learn. Like, you know, when you first come in this thing, you learn. You know, it ain't gonna happen overnight. It ain't gonna happen. You know, in 2-3 weeks. Like a lot of us have been in this thing for years.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, you certain stuff you don't learn until you've been in the truth for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, and to be honest, some stuff I'm really just starting to learn. You know, you think you know stuff at 3-4 years, you don't really know it. You know, you read it, you can see it. You know what I'm saying? You might have a perception of what it is, but until you experience it and you're able to, you know, apply whatever it is, that's when you really like know. You know, we talk about the salvation, but you don't know what it feels like to be saved. You know, you kind of can, you know, but there might be a surreal feeling behind being beamed up. You know, a euphoric feeling. You know, it's like, wow. You know, but we know it's coming. But so it takes a level of time to be able to, you know, understand these scriptures. You know, and we always gonna be learning. Okay. One of the worst things you can do is don't ever outlearn yourself. Okay. Don't outlearn yourself. What I mean by that is don't pack hella information in your mind and deceive yourself and make you think you really know what it's about. Okay? Eat honey that's sufficient for you. Okay? It's not a race of knowledge. Trust me. That's one of the most dangerous things you can do in this faith. Is go on a knowledge binge. If you're going to go on that knowledge binge, you better make sure you're praying for humility, because that's the adverse effect of it. Pride. Okay? If you just like to get into information, that's good. But understand that that's not what it's about. Okay? You want to make sure you properly understand what these scriptures is about, so you can apply them and you can show them and be a good example. Okay? To the brotherhood. All right? Because you can know 1,000,001 things, and out of the 1,000,001 things, you only know how to do one of them. And what about a brother that only know 50 things, but he can apply all 50? Who's greater?
experience is the best teacher.
It's the best thing. And a lot of times we just don't get that experience, you know, until the Lord see it fit. It's really a test of time, you know. So,
so this is back in verse 6.
If I could say too, if you go into that word temperance, it means to control your desires and lust. All right. So once you do that, it's easier for you to, you know, let go of certain things. Therefore, you can be fruitful. Control your temperance.
Even in certain cars, which brothers want, you know, that's in mechanics, a lot of machinery has certain temperature balances, so it doesn't overheat or it doesn't get too low. It's like a regulator. Yeah, something that I don't know the exact name when it deals in terms of cars.
thermostat?
Maybe more like a thermostat.
I'm low level on cars.
Yeah, but it's the same thing in your spirit. You got to have something to regulate you. You know, something to basically clip your appetite, so to speak. Because like we all know, some brothers. Well, we all do. We all have lust. We all have things that we want in this world. You know, we all love women. You know, but at the end of the day, we know what's sufficient for us and what's not sufficient for us. And we tackle the things that's most important and things that we need for spiritual growth and everything else. So you be like, man, whatever. You gotta have that mindset to know how to wag the hand. You know, even when you look at like professional athletes, some of them may be having access to sleep with as many women as they want, ball out all day. But a lot of men don't do it. They don't do it
because they know that them hoes gonna throw them off. You know, it just like, you know, years ago you had this you know, Jake was going super deep on the Illuminati. You Remember when that first like information age came out, like 2008, 2009, and Jake was going in on Codex Magica and Illuminati. You fast forward 10 years, check them people out now. They bugged the fuck out. They bugged out. They on some whole, left hand energy stuff because they didn't know when to stop. They didn't know. They didn't get into the scriptures. They just went into it. Now they just out here just through. So you got like the brother saying, you got to have a government, and that goes back to the precept that y'all went into about self-examination. You got to know your spirit, man. You got to know what's capable of throwing you off. Okay, everybody's not gonna nudge you and say, "Hey, that's not good for you." Right. All right, don't be a tempter. All right, let me see how far I can take this, man. Before don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Chill out, man. You know what I'm saying? Chill out, man. Just keep it simple. Get into the scriptures. And do what you gotta do. Okay, because like I said, man, can't say it enough. We're going into some serious times, brothers. Okay. Well, when you make simple mistakes, man, it might cost you dearly. Okay? The Lord looking for us to be on point. All right? So it starts now. We're in a grace period. Don't use the grace period as an occasion to the flesh. Okay? If you're dealing with women more than you reading, bro, you're using your liberty as an occasion to the flesh. Okay? Get in the right spirit, man. The women coming. All right? They coming. That shouldn't even be a thought like that. Okay? Get in the spirit of the true woman. Okay? The one that if you get down, she'll never leave you, man. Okay? If you stay with it, man, she ain't gonna go nowhere. She gonna get you out of every situation. She gonna bail you out. She gonna give you everything you need in order to grow and be successful. She gonna add to you. Okay? She gonna be that true helpmeet. That's the scriptures, man. You can't forsake that. Okay? This is the one that's gonna get us on the chariot. So let's go, man. We got this thing, man. Sophia. Go ahead, bro.
It says, back in verse 6, it says, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience, and to patience godliness, and to godliness brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity.
Go ahead.
For if these things be in you...
This is the point right here. I want y'all to pay attention to all of those characteristics that were brought out. And examine yourselves based on that. See where you meet at in this scale. How do you treat brothers? Okay? Where would you rate yourself? Honestly. Knowledge, temperance, patience, godliness. How do you carry yourself? Diligence. How diligent are you? How faithful are you? Okay? How virtuous are you? Okay? These are very key characteristics that men of the Lord gotta have. Okay? And if we don't have these things, keep it real with yourself. And add it. That's what the scripture telling you. Add it. Okay? You don't know how to add it? It's telling you in the scriptures how to add it. Okay? Go ahead, bro.
It says, for if these things be in you and abound, they make you that ye shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Yahweh.
See that? So if you have these things in you, you'll never be unfruitful. You'll always grow. You'll always increase. You'll always come up on the level. Because you're taking these characteristics and you're adding them in your spirit. And you're taking the carnal lust that you always have and you're getting rid of those. Now you're becoming a new creature. Now you're becoming a new person. Because you're recreating your mind. You're recreating your thoughts. Okay? You ain't holding on to the old man. You ain't trying to go link up with old people and rekindle old flames and old fires and old relationships. Okay? You're trying to bond with the brothers. You're trying to bond with the Lord. You're trying to, incorporate, a better. You're trying to be a better father to your son, a better son to your Yahushua, a better brother to these brothers. Okay, all because you're adding these characteristics to your spirit. You'll never be unfruitful. You always grow. You always come up on the level. You always read something and get something different because you're taking the time out to do spiritual maintenance in yourself. You're taking the time out of your daily life to put life into yourself. Do that for you. Okay? Do it for yourself. Do it for the Lord, most importantly, but do it for yourself. Okay? Babylon teaches us to treat ourselves like shit. The truth teaches us to treat ourselves like royalty and kings. Okay? Do that for yourself, man. Stop eating the bullshit. Okay? Stop trying to deal with all these, low-level women. All right? Stop watching that bull crap all day. Okay? Stop hanging around niggas. All right? Stop always getting mad all the time. Control your anger. Control your lust. Control your desires, man. All right? Get into this thing, man. Power is coming. All right?
That's right.
Lock in, man. You want access to the power? Lock in. All right? So with that, that's going to conclude the lesson. Oh, you know what? You had a precept, right?
Yeah, we can end on
Yeah, we're in on that precept.
It's 1 Thessalonians 4:1. It's for so furthermore, then we beseech you, brethren, and exhort you by the Lord Yahweh Shai, that as ye have received of us, how ye ought to walk and to please the Most High, so ye would abound more and more. You know, yeah. So at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about abounding more and more in this truth, man. You know, and not just being stagnant on one level. We just read the elements that you add to yourself so that you can grow, man. So if you're not growing, it's because you're not adding these different elements, attributes that come with this truth. You know, it takes a level of examining yourself and being real, man. You know.
Yeah, and, you know, I remember Bishop did a lesson a while back. Said it's basically not an excuse-based ministry, and that's for all of us brothers too. You know, you always say, "Well, I couldn't do this because this, that, and the other." You know, it ain't. You know, nobody cares about excuses. Nobody does. They just want to see results.
That's it.
That's just life. You know, people don't care why you didn't. You know, why you finished or why you in poverty and all these different things. Why you at the bottom. People will only glorify you really when you at the top. To be honest, that's when they start to acknowledge you. But they don't care about all the things that it took to get to that point. So even us brothers, you know, everything that you go through in life, we all catch our hell. We all go through things. You know, and sometimes feel like you fighting alone. But at the end of the day, you have brothers on your side. We can't always step in, or that's for all of us with each other. We can't always step in and assist each other at all times. But how about Shema Shai? That's why the Lord gave us access to prayer. That's why the Lord gave us access to the book and gave us steps and instructions to get to wherever we need to get to in life. You know, and with this tool and with this wisdom and knowledge, we can get there, man. We have full access, and if we don't get there, we cut ourselves off. We shot ourselves in the foot at the end of the day. You know. So it's just all about giving that diligence, going back to 2 Peter, the first chapter, our personal diligence, our personal consistency, our personal drive and hunger for the kingdom of heaven is the only way that us individuals will get there.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right, man. So, that's going to conclude the Passover live stream 2020 year prophecy. Lord willing, that was edifying. And we do want to thank the water for all the brothers and sisters that came on the comment board and left precepts. At the water, you definitely added to the spirit. This was your lesson also. The water, once again, may the Lord be with you on tonight's Passover. May you brothers be fruitful and abound and grow as well. And add to the spirit, man, so we can get out of here. So the water, once again, for that, we're going to close it out, giving all praises, glory, and honor unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash.
All right, double honors once again to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and safety to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.